I'm at 1750 Bayou Chapelette in Terrebonne Parish. There are people hurt here.
One of the big decisions is always like where you're going to shoot, on location or studio. Logistically, it's more difficult to shoot on location, but I mean, the benefits we've got here, I think, as well as the visual scale that you never really kind of replicate on the studio. You can do everything, but you're always finding yourself in the back of your mind thinking, well, you know, what do we really need? Whereas when you're on a location, the scope is limitless. And we found that here, which has been fantastic.
Action!
You have a lovely home.
I think the fact that we filmed at the Felicity plantation was a key element in the way the film will turn out. I mean, after my initial inquiries, we were told that we couldn't get into the house. But then one of our producers, Clayton Townsend, managed to seduce the family who lived in the house, and we managed to get in there.
What was this little house?
That was the kitchen.
Back a long time ago?
Before they had gas in the house.
We realized that we were able to shoot all of the house exteriors, but there were so many other elements we could do there as well. There were outhouses. And we're going to keep this shed here.
Yeah, I think it's good.
And there were fields and swamp areas nearby that enabled us to do so much of the shoot actually on location. There is a scope that you get and an authenticity that you can't replicate in the studio.
First thing I want to talk about is that I work with Iain. This is the fourth film that I've done with the director Iain Softley. So there's one thing is to get a place that looks right and feels right. Another thing is to make it work for the script. And there's a thing like the old guy Ben climbs out of the window in the middle of the night and crawls along a roof and falls down, is heading for the swamp. There was no swamp in this house. So I thought at one time, can I build a swamp in that field?
Okay, Robert, open the valve to the swamp.
I think other people thought I was crazy, but it worked all right. While we were looking for a house, we imagined that we were going to find a plantation house with a perfect oak alleyway down to the banks of the Mississippi. And unfortunately, when we found the house that we wanted to use, it didn't have an oak alleyway down to the banks of the Mississippi. But then we found this place, Evergreen, which remarkably has got two parallel oak alleyways planted 100 years apart, which actually suits the story of our film, where we've got flashbacks to nearly 100 years ago. And so what I wanted to do here was to build the perfect 1920 house in front of it, which is over there. Well, that's quite a good look.
Maybe it's a combination of some real formalized pieces.
The other benefits, I think, are more imperceptible, which is the effect that it has on the actors. I think, for example, with Kate, she understood by being on location what it was like to travel out of the city into the bayou, into the swamp area, so that we were making that journey every morning ourselves. It was almost like a kind of part of the actors' preparation. As they arrived on set, they were shedding, you know, vestiges of their everyday life and their normal self.
All right, stand by the roll, guys.
The house itself is spooky.
It's a very heavy place. When you go out into the plantation area, I mean, the history of these plantations are dark.
You know, it has very, very powerful connections and so on, which you're going to think about without any question.
Be marked!
May not be actually necessarily quite the right ones.
The actors become more aware of the history of the location, a little bit more aware of the background to hoodoo, because they're living in the place where it came from, the place that inspired the story. And I don't think you can put a price on that.